The following is a presentation of IMG, America's home for college sports. Live from Quaker Steak and Lube on US 1 in Edison, this is the Chris Ash Show, your chance to talk with the head coach of the Scarlet Knights on the Rutgers IMG Sports Network. Today's show is brought to you by To be a part of the show, give us a buzz on the Nissan call-in line at 877-384-1869. That's 877-384-1869. Now, let's go live to Quaker Steak and Lube in Edison to talk Rutgers football. Here's Chris Carlin.
Crowds getting bigger and bigger each week here at Quaker Steak and Lube and Route 1 in Edison, New Jersey. It is the Chris Ash radio show for week 4. On Wednesday, September the 21st, Scarlet Knights now at 2-1, coming off their 37-28 win over New Mexico this past weekend. And this week, the opening of the Big Ten schedule as the Iowa Hawkeyes come to High Point Solution Stadium. Good evening, everybody. Chris Carlin alongside Eric LeGrand. E, how you doing?
Doing great, Chris. How are you?
Outstanding. And the guy next in between us is the head coach of the Scarlet Knights, 2-1 now, Chris Ash. Coach, how are you?
I'm doing great.
Outstanding to see you. And let's talk a little bit about the victory over New Mexico for a few minutes here, 37-28. And Robert Martin, 169 yards rushing, including an 80-yard touchdown. You also had a 75-yard touchdown pass from Chris Laviano to Jawan Harris. So big plays were the order of the day for you the other day.
Yeah, we had some timely big plays that helped us, especially when we were down 21-0 early in that game on special teams and on offense to put some points on the board, change the momentum on the sideline, change the energy in the stadium, and that's happened the last couple of weeks, so we need to keep that up.
And as a coach, how much time do you actually put in on like 25-plus yard plays that could change the game like that? Do you put a lot of effort into that?
That's all we practice. That's what we want.
I love it.
You know, as you look at that 21-point deficit, it's history because it's the first time since October 31st, 1992, the Virginia Tech win, which any longtime Rutgers fan remembers, is the 50-49 game with Ray Lucas and Brian Forte bringing the Scarlet Knights back, one of the more historic victories, but certainly not necessarily the kind of history you want to make right there, too. Fans have asked about it, the start so far. As you take a look at it and you evaluate, what have you seen in terms of your team and not getting off to a great start in these games?
Well, we evaluate everything that we do. We've done it after every week, whether we win or we lose. I've mentioned several times we have a preparation plan that we really like. The players believe in it. The coaches believe in it. We're not going to change it. We will continue to evaluate what we're doing. If we go through the rest of the season and we have tough starts in about every game, then I've got to really evaluate what's going on.
But on the flip side, you look at how resilient your football team has been in these games, and I'll even include the Washington game because we went through the stats of how well they specifically played defensively in that game after that first quarter. You have to be pleased with the character you've seen.
Yeah, the kids have been off the charts. We have great kids in this program. We have strong belief. We have a lot of confidence right now, really like where we're at mentally. And the kids just battle. They don't quit. They keep fighting. They keep believing in what we're doing. And right now I don't think there's any deficit or any issues that come up in a game that we can't bounce back from or hold together and keep fighting and keep going and have a chance to win.
I know you got a chance to talk to the guys at halftime, one-on-one and things like that, but during the game, what is it like as the head coach being able to go over to the offense or the defense and talking to them?
Well, I try to stay out of the offense's hair as much as I can because the only thing I'll do is screw that up. If there's something I see or I've got a question, I'll ask him. But for the most part, I'm with the defense or on special teams, and I'm with the defensive staff. We're just constantly, especially after last week when we're playing New Mexico and all the option and new things that we were seeing in that game, just constantly helping them coach the players and make adjustments and get things right. And I think we were able to do that fairly well this last week.
Our telephone number, Nissan call-in line is 877-384-1869, 877-384-1869. By all means, call in. Ask the coach your question. You can also tweet us your questions at Rutgers Radio. That's at Rutgers Radio. And lastly, if you are in attendance here at Quaker Steak and Lube, by all means, come on up front. See our guy, Jordan. I would say the guy in the scarlet shirt, but there's about 100 of them in here. But this gentleman right over here in front of the scarlet knight, and we will get you on the air for your coach, your question for coach. A couple of other things, Janarian Grant. I do not understand why other teams kick the ball to Janarian Grant anymore. It's 8 now in his career, 8 returns for touchdowns and 2 already this season. And Coach, I mean, you watch some of the cuts that he made on that punt return the other day. It's just continues to amaze what he's capable of.
Yeah, I agree with you. I hope people keep kicking the ball.
Exactly. I'm not telling you not to.
I'm not complaining because the more opportunities he gets, the more excitement that he's going to bring and the more big plays that we'll get out of him. But he does not amaze me anymore. I mean, we see it every day in practice, what he can do when the ball is in his hands. And you've seen what he's been able to do for our football team so far on special teams and offense and all the positions that he's played. And hopefully that continues as we move forward.
And as we talked up in the box, Chris, Ray, Lucas, and I, when every time Janarian touches the ball, our heart stops for a second. Is that like that? Is the same thing for you, Coach? When you're on the sideline, you actually see when he gets the ball and gets some space. I know you coached some great players over the years. But
yeah, he's an exciting player. And anytime I hear a play being called that is going to involve Janarian, I get excited and to make sure I'm paying attention. You asked me about going over and coaching the offensive guys. Probably the only thing I'll get on that headset and say now is get the ball to Janarian.
And he not only can run it, he can throw it as well. Second career touchdown pass the other day. Nice play by Andre Patton in tough one-on-one coverage, but nonetheless, another well-thrown ball for Janarian on that end-around pass.
Yeah, that was a great play all the way around. It was a great play call by Coach Maringer and the offensive staff and well executed by the players and a tremendous finish by Andre Patton in the end zone.
And week by week now, Coach, it seems like another player is emerging. Last week, Juwan Harris, and then each week, Aaron Grant. But as you just mentioned, Andre Patton now showing that he can go up and get the ball in one-on-one coverage, Coach. What is that like defending that as a coach when you see that for other teams too?
Well, that's what our offense is really based on is finding playmakers and getting the ball into our playmakers' hands. Rob Martin is becoming one. Janarian Grant obviously is one. Juwan Harris is starting to emerge as a guy that we think is one of our top playmakers. Josh Hicks is another guy that we've got to continue to find ways to get the ball into his hands. And Andre Patton has done a great job also. So our offense is based on distributing the ball to as many different people as we can and primarily in the guys that we think are playmakers.
Take us inside that running back rotation for a moment because you do have 3 guys who are exceptionally capable, and then you can add a 4th and just a young guy in Trey Sneed, who I know you're very high on.
Yeah, those guys have great competition going on in the room. They come out to practice every single day, and they work exceptionally hard. We want to be a running offense. We want to be a line of scrimmage offense. That means we're great up front with our offensive line. We can run the ball on anybody, and we can run it in any situation. And I think those guys, including the offensive line and really the overall offense, have really clung to that, and they see that as their identity, and they take a lot of pride in that. And really happy for that group of running backs in the way they compete every single day.
I want to take it over to the defensive side now, Coach. We see Darius Hamilton over the years and how great he is, but he keeps on getting better and better as he was the defensive player of the game for you guys this week. Can you talk about some things that he did in that game?
Yeah, he really controlled the line of scrimmage for us at times in the game last week. He made some timely TFLs, and when we needed him, he pressured the quarterback when we needed him to. And he has gotten better each week throughout the season, and hopefully that continues. He's getting in better and better shape, and he's feeling more confident with his body, and he's playing at a high level right now, and really happy for him and the leadership that he brings our team, and then obviously the plays that he's making on Saturdays.
You mentioned confident in his body with the bigger size. So has that changed his game at all, or has it just flat out made it better?
Yeah, I think it's changed. I think it's done both. I think it's changed his game and what he's able to do, and I think it's made him better. He talked about when he was a lot lighter and he used to take on double teams from the offensive line, and it was not easy for him to do that. He tried to beat it with quickness and, basically sit down and hold on. And now I think it's a lot more difficult for teams to double team him and get movement on him. And he does a great job of holding the point and keeping the line of scrimmage there for us and allowing our linebackers to make plays.
And now we're 3 weeks into the season now, going on to week 4. Have you seen any maybe unsung heroes of the team so far that everyone may not notice, but are just come in week and week out and just do their job?
Well, we got a lot of guys on special teams that do that. One guy I gave special mention to the other day, David Bonagor, our place kicker. We've struggled kicking the ball in the spring and in training camp. But when we show up on Saturday, he's done a nice job of putting the ball between the uprights, and that's one of the big reasons we won the game last Saturday is because of the points he put on the board with his leg, and he's kind of that type of guy. Our long snapper, Alan Lucy's done a great job for the first 3 games, and some of the guys that run down and cover kicks, I've mentioned Larry Stevens in the past. He's a walk-on freshman. He was all over the field for us in the first 3 games on special teams, we can't get enough guys like him, but there are a lot of guys like that.
Let's hit the telephones. Our Nissan call-in number once again is 877-384-1869, 877-384-1869. Let's start with Charlie in Woodbridge. You're on the Chris Ash Show. Charlie, how are you?
Oh, very good. Thanks for taking the call, guys. Coach, good luck with the game this week. I know it'll be a tough one against Iowa, but we can do it. Coach, the question tonight is, what former football alumni have really shown you the most support in what you're trying to accomplish at Rutgers now?
Well, I don't think there's any one individual that has. There's been a collection of guys, a bunch of them, to be honest with you, that I've met through various events during my time here, and they've all been very supportive. They love Rutgers. They had a great experience here. They want to see nothing but success for our program and the players in this program, and they've all said whatever they can do to help us, they'll do it. And they've been a great group of individuals to get to know, and I just really am impressed by the pride and passion for Rutgers in general, not just a football program, from the guys that I've met.
And what's that like, Coach, coming in to a new job and, you don't really know the alumni players, but when they reach out to you to take the time, how are those encounters?
Oh, it's great. It means a lot. It really does, because like you mentioned, whenever you take a new job, if you're not from, you haven't been at that school before, from that region before, and you don't know a lot of people, you're kind of curious of how you're going to be received and what the support's going to be like. And it's been tremendous from all the former players. It's been tremendous from everybody, the fans, the people in New Jersey, former players. Can't say enough about the reception that we've gotten so far, but the players have been great.
Tweet us your questions at Rutgers Radio. That's at Rutgers Radio. We've got some more phone calls coming in on our Nissan call-in line at 877-384-1869. We'll take our first time out. We'll talk more about the Iowa Hawkeyes, and we will visit with Rutgers offensive line coach and former Hawkeye, A.J. Blazik, who is here tonight. That's coming up. I've gotten some background information, AJ, so get ready. We might have a couple to spring on you a little bit later on about this week's game. But he is a former academic All-American on the offensive line at Iowa. So we'll talk to AJ in just a little bit. Right now, though, we'll take our first time out. You're listening to The Chris Ash Show.
Need a place to watch all the pro games? Look no further than Quaker Steak and Lube, Best Wings USA on Route 1 in Edison. 50 TVs, great game day specials starting at just $2, and the best wings in the USA with over 25 different wing sauces. Enjoy our outdoor patio and bar that's open all year round, even in the winter. Give us a call, 732-777-WING. We cater events of any size, dining in or to go. Quaker Steak and Lube, 561 Route 1 in Edison, 732-777-WING.
Hey, Chris Carlin here, and as the voice of your Rutgers Scarlet Knights, I see the fans' passion for our hometown team come to life every Saturday in the fall. UPS shares this same passion for helping businesses turn a challenge into a solution. Okay? Because they're not just in the shipping business, they're in the problem-solving business. Visit ups.com/solvers to see how UPS can help your team find the winning formula. UPS, official logistics company of Rutgers Athletics.
The Chris Ash Show returns after this local timeout. This is the Rutgers IMG Sports Network.
Okay.
Introducing the Rutgers Fan Exchange, powered by Tick City. Can't make it to a game and don't know what to do with your tickets? Looking for the best deals on the biggest games? Buy and sell tickets for all Rutgers home games through the Rutgers Fan Exchange. the only place to find seats from within the trusted Rutgers community. And you control the price. Every order helps support Rutgers athletics. Visit the Rutgers Fan Exchange at rutgersfanexchange.com.
Looking for a place to watch all the Rutgers football action? Enjoy the games with fellow Scarlet Knights fans at these Rutgers Athletics official watch party locations. Hoboken's Cadillac Cantina, Tom's Rivers Baker's Water Street Bar and Grill, Freehold's Morse Tavern and Sports Bar, Monroe Township's Baker's American Bar and Grill, and Quaker Steak and Lube's 3 locations in Edison, Brick, and Phillipsburg. For more information on the official watch party locations, please visit scarletknights.com.
We have returned for...
Welcome back to the Chris Ash Show. Got a question for Coach? Dial us up on the Nissan call-in line at 877-384-1869. That's 877-384-1869. Nissan, proud partner of college athletics. Shop ChooseNissan.com. Innovation that excites.
We have returned to the Chris Ash Show here at Quaker Steak and Lube on Route 1 in Edison, New Jersey. By the way, I did notice this week in your press conference that somebody made a basketball analogy. And you went back to last
I went
week.
back to you. Yeah,
You did, and
I don't. I didn't use your name though, so.
Oh, yeah, you did. That's okay, though. That's okay because...
Watch what you say then.
I know. I wanted
good.
to pin it on somebody else, but I really couldn't. Anyway.
I got you, and then last week I was getting Pat, and he's here today to defend himself too. So.
Our Nissan call-in number 877-384-1869. But we have a question from a gentleman here in attendance at Quaker Steak and Lube. Sir, what's your name? Where are you from?
Oh, Chad James, North Brunswick. How you doing, Coach?
Great.
My question is about defense. I'm a defensive guy like you are. And in this game, the offensive line for Iowa I know is pretty strong. So it's going to be really important for the team to tackle well, especially I guess, the linebackers and secondary. The team hasn't been a great tackling team in past years. I know it's one of the things you want to focus on this year. How will they progress, and how important are you stressing that in this game?
Well, every game it's important for us to tackle. When you talk about our keys to victory and our plan to win, we have to play great defense, and to do that you have to stop the run, and to stop the run you have to be able to tackle. And usually it's by your DBs more than anybody else.
Right.
So we put a tremendous amount of time and effort into our tackling. To actually have a gentleman here today that we've worked with from a company called Edison out in Washington that has helped us tremendously here at Rutgers and myself in the past. But we have to make sure that we tackle well in every game. And when you play a good running football team like Iowa, it's even that much more important.
Right. Thank you.
What specific does he help with technique? What does he do in particular to help?
A little bit of everything. Helps with evaluate our drills, evaluate our efficiency and effectiveness in practice, and gives us thoughts and ideas of what we can do to continue to get better.
And as the season goes on, Coach, you get the wear and tear on your body. How much can you focus on actually tackling, going to the ground, and also thud period, trying to stay up and keep the guys off the ground?
We'll tackle every week throughout the whole season. The way we teach tackling, it's low impact. The way we do it during practice anyway in our drills. But it's something that if you sleep on it or forget to do it or just think you have it figured out, you take a step back. So we will tackle throughout the whole year.
As a defensive guy, when you look across college football, is it just getting harder and harder to play great defense at an exceptional level when you have all the different offenses that are out there and all the different opportunities for playmakers to get the ball in space?
I'll give you an honest answer. When you're not very good on defense, that's your excuse.
Okay. No, absolutely.
That's the way I feel. I don't think there's. I don't care where you're at, what you're facing from week to week. Your job is to play great defense, and that's what we try to do, and that's what we want to do, and that's what we want to build here is a football team that plays great defense week in and week out, regardless of the style of offense that you face.
And as we're talking about styles of offense, Coach, Iowa, in the past, they line up in a lot of 22 personnel, big boy football. How do you game planning against knowing that it's just going to be a grind all day with your defensive line, your linebackers, and your safeties coming up to hit?
Yeah, well, hopefully through your training throughout the course of the year, you're building that mentality and that toughness and that approach to the game also, and that's what we want to do. We want to play big boy football at the line of scrimmage, and we're training our football team to be that type of a team. And I think, when you look at the strength of our team right now, our defensive line and offensive line would be what I would consider two of our better positions on our football team. And they're big, they're strong, they're physical, and I think they're going to go out and have a great game. I'm excited to watch them.
All right, let's hit the phones once again. Our Nissan call-in number 877-384-1869. A Rutgers student calling in. This is Joseph in New Brunswick. Joseph, you're on the Chris Ash Show. What's up?
What's up, fellas? All right, so I got a question for Coach Blaze.
He's not up yet. Coach Blazek isn't up
he's
yet.
Not up?
I can answer it for you.
Go ahead.
Oh, who's that? Is that Coach Ash?
Yeah. Fire away.
All right.
I'd love to be Coach Blazek for a minute.
All right, fine. You're kind of big. You've packed on some pounds, too, since the day, so this might apply to you
I
as
have
well.
not. I still look good.
All right.
That was a joke.
Don't
He
worry,
laughed.
I flex in the mirror, too. Like, it's all good. We're always going to look good in our own eyes.
Yeah.
But, anyways, what is the most committed big fella move in your daily life?
Say that one more time.
It was the most committed big fella move in your daily life. Again, it was for Coach Blazek, but still.
I'll defer it until he comes up.
All right, that'll be our first question out of the gate. Let's cleanse the palate, shall we? Here is John in Camden. John, you're up next on the Chris Ash Show. John, are you there?
Yeah, hey, Chris, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
I just have a question for the coach. First Big Ten game, Iowa kind of has the quintessential, offensive lineman of the Big Ten. How's he going to use that front seven to get pressure to the quarterback?
Well, it starts by stopping the run and getting them in throwing situations, and then when we get a team into throwing situations, you get to change your technique of your defensive linemen and get a little more creative with your different pressure packages that you can implement to get after the quarterback and make them uncomfortable. But it starts with a team like this especially. You got to stop the run first and get them into throwing situations so you can do some things differently to try to put some pressure on the quarterback.
Coach?
Thanks, John, for the phone call. Appreciate it. Before we get Coach Blazek up here, high energy guy, as you were going through and evaluating guys for your staff when you first got here, what were the characteristics that you were looking for?
Oh, really, there's three things that we talk about a lot, and we call them the 3 C's. Looking for coaches that had high character, guys that could be trusted by not only myself but other people in the organization, and more importantly the players. Guys that could connect with the players and show the players that they care about them and love them and want to have a good experience here in our program. And then guys that were competent, guys that knew how to coach their position, coach the game of football at a high level. And then the fourth one I talked about is compatibility. I wanted coaches that were compatible with me and with each other. Didn't necessarily have to be identical, but we're compatible. We spend an insane amount of time together, and we do need to get along and need to be similar in our thoughts and our beliefs. And I feel like we've been able to build a staff like that, and AJ falls right in line with that. I've known AJ for a long time, clear back to his days when he was a player at Iowa, and I've followed his career. And I just continue to watch him grow and develop and keep getting promoted or moving up the ranks, so to speak, throughout his career coaching. He was always a guy that was going to be on my list if I got an opportunity to be a head coach. He was a guy I was going to reach out to and see if I could get him to join us. And luckily, his wife actually approved that move.
Oh, of course.
Hey, Coach, from the outside looking in, how we don't get to see those relationships that you get to develop over the years and picking guys out and choosing. How does that go about when you think all right, I'm going to get this job and this is what I want to do? How do you think about the people that you met over the years or you follow them? Like how does that whole process go?
Well, it usually starts for head coaches. They get an opportunity. They have a list already created. So if the opportunity presents itself, you know who you're going to be looking at. And I'd put a lot of thought into it really over the last 3 or 4 years and building a list of people that I would like to have on staff for various reasons. And when I was fortunate enough to get the opportunity here, I started to make some quick calls to the guys that were on my list. But I was looking to surround myself with the people that had the things we were already talking about. But a lot of it also was guys that I knew I'd worked with before, or somebody that I knew and trusted had worked with them before. I wanted to surround myself with people that I could trust, and we're going to have my back, and we're going to be loyal to each other. And again, you look at the makeup of our staff. I think we've been able to do that.
I got a question on Twitter. You can send your tweets to @RutgersRadio. This is from RUTax Esquire. Snapchat videos of practice have been great to see. How has social media helped the program?
Social media has played a big part in generating excitement from the fans and excitement from recruits. We've been able to get our brand out there, our style of work, the way we train, the way we practice, the way we enjoy ourselves. I mean, we're going to work these players extremely hard, but we're going to have fun doing it, and we want people to see what we're doing. We're not trying to give away secrets or anything like that, but we want people to be able to feel like they know what's happening in our program and see all the positive things that we're doing, and social media has allowed us to do that.
And, as the head coach, you want to spend most of your time on football, but how much of that does go into planning, in a week or coming into the season, and how much time you're going to spend on social media and things that aren't, pretty much on the field?
Well, it really kind of gets back to the staff. I'm going to be honest with you. My focus is on game planning. It's studying the opponent, helping motivate our football team. That's what I focus on, and we have a team of people that help really do the social media stuff like you see out there with the videos and things like that. I'm not a video guy, I promise you that. And I'm not a graphic guy. I can't do those things. But we have people that do that for us, and they do an outstanding job.
We'll take more of your calls in just a bit at 877-384-1869 on our Nissan call-in line. Also tweet your questions at Rutgers Radio. In just a minute, we will be joined by Rutgers offensive line coach A.J. Blazik, former Iowa Hawkeye, in just a few. We'll also tell you about a very special cause this weekend that the coaches will be supporting and some honorary captains that we have for this week's game against Iowa as well. It's all coming up. So much more to do on this week's edition from Quaker Steak and Lube in Edison, New Jersey of the Chris Ash Show. Stay with us.
Need a place to watch all the pro games? Look no further than Quaker Steak and Lube, Best Wings USA on Route 1 in Edison. 50 TVs, great game day specials starting at just $2, and the best wings in the USA with over 25 different wing sauces. Enjoy our outdoor patio and bar that's open all year round, even in the winter. Give us a call, 732-777-WING. We cater events of any size, dining in or to go. Quaker Steak and Lube, 561 Route 1 in Edison, 732-777-WING.
We have a new player on the field, and he's ready for kickoff with a delicious ice-cold Coca-Cola. And the kick. Ice giving him a little trouble as a few cubes shake loose. He's probably going to pour it here, and he does. The glass is full. Can he go all the way? He did it! Oh, wow! And just listen to that fizz. That might have been the most refreshing thing that I've ever seen. Whew. Coca-Cola. Taste the feeling.
The Chris Ash Show returns after this local timeout. This is the Rutgers IMG Sports Network.
We live in an exciting time for medicine. Breakthroughs happen every day. The higher we raise the bar, the more we push ourselves to jump over it. Welcome to RWJ Barnabas Health. From clinical trials that are making cancer a thing of the past, to mapping the brain and seeing the future of neuroscience. From the latest in heart transplants to planting community gardens, we're enhancing the health and wellness of the millions of people we serve. With more than 41,000 medical professionals, 11 acute care hospitals, 4 children's hospitals, dedicated researchers, and partnerships with medical schools, we're delivering better health together to New Jersey. To Bayonne in Atlantic City, Livingston, Edison and Princeton, urban farms in Newark, family fitness trails at the Jersey Shore, and especially to you. Join us, and working together, your life will be healthier too. RWJ Barnabas Health. Let's be healthy together. Visit rwjbhinfo.org.
Welcome back to the Chris Ash Show. Got a question for Coach? Dial us up on the Nissan call-in line at 877-384-1869. That's 877-384-1869. Nissan, proud partner of college athletics. Shop ChooseNissan.com. Innovation that excites.
Rutgers is committed to building championship contenders in the Big Ten. This commitment means the university must build premier training facilities for elite student athletes, from New Jersey, the nation, and around the globe. To achieve this, Rutgers Athletics is embarking on the Our Big Ten Build, a campaign to raise $100 million for new and upgraded athletic facilities. Be all in and join our campaign today by visiting RutgersBig10Build.com. That's RutgersBig10Build.com. He is the offensive line coach for the Rutgers Scarlet Knights, A.J. Blazek. How you doing?
Doing good tonight. Doing good. Glad to be here.
He is a high-energy guy, and you will be able to tell that very quickly if you have not met Coach Blazek yet. First things first, can you settle up on the big man moves thing that was going on there?
Well,
or big fella moves,
yeah,
excuse me.
There was a little clarity. I wasn't for sure what they were asking, and I think there's a hashtag out there.
There is?
Maybe some of our Soul Train members in the O-line had started a couple months ago called Big Fella Moves.
Okay.
And so I think that might have been what they were asking about.
Are you gonna give us some of the big boy moves that you got? I guess big
fella moves.
Big fella moves.
I don't deal with it much, but they show up on my Twitter every now and then. It's
big fella moves. I like it. I might have to use that.
Check it out sometime.
AJ, I asked Coach Ash what he was looking for in assistance. For you, what made Rutgers the right place for you when the opportunity came?
A lot, exactly what Chris said, and we talk about it all the time, is the connection in this business. It's the people you're around, because you spend a lot of time together, and you talk to our families, and he brought up my wife, and it's an all-in move. And so for me, I knew Chris was a guy that was going to be a head coach. If it wasn't this year, it was, every year his name was coming up for some of the right jobs. And not that you reach out to him. I'd stopped in and visited when I was recruiting, or I'd be in the area to see him and Coach Bielma. And I think that's how that relationship goes. Eric, you were asking how that works. And as a coach, I think you just stay in touch with the people that are similar to you, believe in a lot of the same things you do. And, when Coach, first thing he talks about is we're going to be a line of scrimmage football team. And as an offensive line coach, you don't want to be anywhere else in the country where your head coach says this is what we're going to build it around. You're going to have an influence there, and I think that was probably as important as anything.
Can you talk about a little bit about your time here and so far in Jersey, and what you got to experience about Jersey?
Well, it took about 6 months, but the Jersey Shore is my favorite right now. I got out this summer with my kids, and that was good. Hey, love it. But the people, you grow up in the Midwest. There's a reputation of out here, Midwesterners, a little slower, but the work ethic and all that there. It's the same thing here. In the Midwest, you got farmers, and that's how things started. And out here, it's families were factory workers, and it's the same thing. And anywhere you go, I really believe you can find people that are quality people, high character. They're going to work hard, and it goes to recruiting or the people we work with. And that's Chris talked about the kind of people in our organization. That's what we're around every day.
Don't forget tough, man. We're Jersey tough.
Ain't no doubt about it. You seen the new wall in the weight room?
Oh, yeah, I seen the new wall in the weight room.
KP's got that going on now.
Yeah, he's got dice over there, man. I like it.
Kenny Parker, the strength and conditioning coach, looking forward to having him on. He is as well a character that we'll talk to later in the season, I'm sure. When you came in and you started working with the guys on this offensive line, what jumped out to you about them, about work ethic, about personality, about how you were going to help get this group to mesh together?
That was one of the first things you do, and when you're looking at an opportunity, you go, okay, what kind of guys do I have coming back? What experience is there? And guys like Derek, Dorian, JJ, Chris are all guys that have played a lot of football here. And so you knew you were going to be able to step in with guys' experience. They're calm, they're collected when they go out to the field, but it was going to be new for them. And so the first thing we did is, Chris got me their phone numbers right away as soon as I took the job. I talked to all of them before I even showed up in New Jersey. And the thing you could tell is they're guys, they wanted to be coached. Some of it's the nature of offensive linemen, but this group of guys, especially, they wanted to be coached hard. They want to learn. When we show up in meeting rooms, they're ready to go. We're not waiting on people. They got books open, and it's a great group of young guys that are excited to learn. And that's even the older guys. They set the bar for our young guys in the room as far as how to take notes, how to watch film, how to prepare. And there's a lot of stuff we still got to work on. But I got a room of guys excited to get going and go to work. Part of that was getting in shape, which you saw this spring. But the football part of it, the X's and O's, the football IQ, That's growing. Every day, that's a fun part right now.
And, of course, it's all about football and, X's and O's, but can you talk about actually developing the relationships with these guys? I know you said you texted them, but off the field, talking to them, how does that go?
That's what my wife's here tonight, Kyla. The guys have been to our house, and they're over. They know our kids. My 6th grader shows a cool dog, and it's our family. It is. We spend so much time with them, and we talk about it, and people use it in recruiting. It's kind of the culture we've created. It is our players around our kids are around, and that's the biggest thing. Like you said, spending time with them, whether it's you got a kid who's going through something at home, you got to go home if they lose a parent and make sure things are all right with them. Yeah, you do everything, and they know you care about them. You can coach them pretty hard because they want to get better, and you build that relationship every day. You build it whether you're going to the cold tanks after practice. It's because you'll get after a guy to get better, fix something. You walk out of practice and you're cracking a joke with him, and he knows, hey, coach is trying to get me better. Coach cares about me too in the long run, and I think that is probably the most important part about being a new staff, and they know we're here for them.
A.J. Blazek, Rutgers offensive line coach, with us this week on the Chris Ash Show here at Quaker Steak and Lube on Route 1 in Edison. A.J., for the group of offensive line, when you're changing systems and you go from a pro style, which they've been in the last couple of years, to a spread offense, how do things change for the linemen?
I think the biggest adjustment for this group of guys is just, and people ask about the tempo all the time. We don't think we play that fast right now. But it is just the operation of when you hear a play call in a huddle, and Derek and I talk about it a lot. You hear a play call in a huddle, you turn around, you see a picture. There's a lot of stuff you get in a huddle that out when you don't, and it's just a play, you're going off looks, it's quicker, the linemen are the last guys to get the information. And so for us, that's probably the biggest part of the transition. But when it comes to a combo block, whether it's zone, ISO, power, whatever, fit in A-gap at the end of the day, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. And so that part they get. It's just the developmental piece from a technique standpoint. I'm sure the way I say it, the way I teach it is a little bit different, and you can see that right away in drills. But that's probably the toughest part, because technique is the habits that you build every day. We can go out and talk about, hey, our pads got to be better this week. It's not going to happen overnight with one drill. We can put a different play in and tomorrow block that play, but it's how you do it. You mentioned the teaching part of it, the development. I think that's what we're building our program around right now, is the fundamentals of football and being the very best at them. And that's what we do every day, to build those habits.
And I wanted to ask you some of the differences that you come from, running a pro-style offense. You've been in a pro-style offense, and then switching to the techniques of a spread offense. Is there a lot of things different for the offensive liner? Is it similar, as you said, combination blocks and things like that?
It's funny, if you really watch O-line play and you know what you're looking for, you're going to see a lot of similarities on both sides of the ball this week, inside zone, outside zone. People use those terms loosely. But from a technique standpoint, you're trying to reach a guy, you're trying to base a guy, or you're trying to veer a guy, down block a guy. And it's the D-line coaches I've worked with, coach, AJ, let's hook up, let's get together. It's base, reach, veer, and we're playing a shade, a head up, or a loose technique. It doesn't matter what the play is. So do I think that? Yeah, I think there's nuances in technique that are different from coach to coach. But scheme-wise, people are trying to block the same X's with the same O's.
AJ, when you look back at your history, when did you decide? I mean, as I mentioned earlier, you played at Iowa on the offensive line. I upgraded you, by the way, to academic All-American.
I was pumped about that.
Yeah,
so that was in junior college, not at Iowa.
Okay,
but I'll take.
Well, let's just stick with it. That's fine.
Yeah.
You were academic All Big Ten.
Roll with it.
That's fine. But when did you decide that this was for you? That you were going to go into coaching, and what was it that made you want to do it?
I had a guy ask me that yesterday. I've been very fortunate. My grandfather's a Hall of Fame coach in the state of Iowa, high school coach. My dad was a coach all the way up until I got to high school, and he played for his dad. And there were some rough things about that at times. You're the example a lot of the times, and especially if you're an old school coaching style. My dad got out of coaching and got into administration when I was a sophomore in high school. So him and I worked out together. He said, I've coached everybody else's kids for 20 years. I'm going to coach my own and spend time with my own. And so to me, that was a really big deal. And I knew how much he enjoyed the game. I obviously grew up around it. You know, the memories of being in the sheds, and every high school has those sheds that have the gear and the pads and I remember Dad tells us I fell asleep in one of those sheds. He couldn't find me for a couple hours, and it was just football camp. That's fall camp. And so I've grown up around it. I think I've always known it's what I wanted to do. But I know the coaches that I played for in junior college, really put the final stamp on, you know, there's a way to go about it. And I think I knew that's what I wanted to do in college.
And I wonder, what's it like, you know, coaching against maybe some of your friends or people that you've met along the way or have helped you along the way, and then coaching against them now? What's that like?
You know, a lot of guys think it's nervous. I enjoy it. I'm looking forward to it. You know, LeVar and I were captains. It's like you and Scott.
Yep.
We were as good of friends as anything. And, you know, we stay in touch all summer, year-round, and now we got to go tee it up. We don't talk this week. We'll hug it up afterwards, and it's going to be as competitive as 9-on-7 used to be. You know, he was an outside linebacker, I was a center. It's just now we got our own teams.
Well, what is this going to be like for you this week, looking across, and you're not wearing the black and gold, and you're seeing your alma mater on the other side of the field?
Well, I've not been in black and gold for about 20 years.
Well, but you know what I mean.
So it's not going to be as big a deal, I think, as people. I think Jay Neiman's got a lot tougher than I do.
Yeah,
he
does.
He's got to watch his kid in between adjustments. But for me, it's going to be as much. It's not about who we're playing. That ball's going to get kicked when that foot hits the ball. You're coaching, you're adjusting. That game's over. Hopefully, we go out and take care of business, and you know, hug it up and say, "Good to see y'all, guys. Enjoy the season."
I'll tell you what, Coach. I'm a D-line guy. I don't like you big offensive linemen too much, but tell you what, it's been fun watching you guys practice and in the videos and seeing how you're developing these guys. And even though I said I'm a D-line guy, so I don't like you guys too much, but it's been fun watching.
We're going to coach hard, but we're going to have a lot of fun doing it. You got me?
Exactly.
If you enjoy being physical on the football field,
I love it.
we're going to have fun.
I love it, Coach.
Before we let you go, a source indicated to me before the show that you might have a tattoo that would involve a Hawkeye.
Uh-oh.
Is that accurate?
I might.
You might.
I might.
The source is.
I might.
Source is pretty good.
My boss had me show it once. I'm good. Tattoo once. That was good.
Now the source is your boss, so.
I got one.
All right. Yep. We'll let it go. You're going to cover it up on Saturday?
I'm proud of it. I'm proud of it. 364 days a year, I'm proud of it.
Outstanding.
I like that.
AJ, thanks so much for coming by this week.
Thanks a minute, Chris. I appreciate it, Eric. Thanks.
Absolutely.
AJ Blazek, Rutgers offensive line coach. Coach Chris Ash will rejoin us here momentarily. Your chance to get in and talk to the coach at 877-384-1869. That's our Nissan call-in number. Also, tweet us your questions at Rutgers Radio. And if you're in attendance, by all means, come on up front and get your question in for the coach. We've got time for it. Stay with us. We'll take a quick time out. This is the Chris Ash Show.
Don't just say you're a diehard fan, show it. Nissan's giving you the chance to win a custom-wrapped 2017 Titan, decked out in your school's official colors. To enter, go to diehardfan.com/sweepstakes, and you can turn your garage into the ultimate fan cave. Nissan Titan, take on game day. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited. Starts 9/1/16 at 12:0001 a.m. EDT and ends on 10/23/16 at 11:59:59 p.m. EDT. Open to residents of the USDC. 18 and over. Official rules visit www.diehardfan.com/sweepstakes. Sponsor Nissan North America, Inc.
Need a place to watch all the pro games? Look no further than Quaker Steak and Lube. Best Wings USA on Route 1 in Edison. 50 TVs, great game day specials starting at just $2, and the best wings in the USA with over 25 different wing sauces. Enjoy our outdoor patio and bar that's open all year round, even in the winter. Give us a call, 732-777-WING. We cater events of any size, dining in or to go. Quaker Steak and Lube, 561 Route 1 in Edison, 732-777-WING.
The Chris Ash Show returns after this local timeout. This is the Rutgers IMG Sports Network.
This commercial is brought to you by Brother International, the makers of fax printers, multifunction printers, scanners, sewing and embroidery machines. Brother is always at your side.
You can make business cards with your name, print from hiking, hang and frame, sew some shades, block the sun, keep out creepy peeping toms. With Brother at your side, always good times. You got a brother at your side, and whatever follows always ends up in good times. You can make a basket cover for your cat, another for his brother. brothers, so they both match. No more mess, make the best. Label all relieve that stress. Brothers always undercover and always around. 106 years, better keep on counting. You got a brother at your side, and whatever follows always ends up in good time. With a brother at your side, with a brother at your side.
The Chris Ash Show continues on the Rutgers IMG Sports Network. Now back to Quaker Steak and Lube in Edison to talk Rutgers football. Here's Chris Carlin.
Plenty of time for you to get your questions in for Coach Ash. Our telephone number, Nissan call-in number, 877-384-1869, 877-384-1869, and you can tweet us your questions at Rutgers Radio. Before I get back to a couple of other questions that we have for you, want to mention that this week, Rutgers and Iowa's coaching staffs are going to be wearing special arm patches, and this is something that's been going on in the coaching community for several years. It's part of the American Football Coaches Association Coach to Cure MD program. It's in its 9th year, and coaches around the country get together to raise funding and awareness for Duchenne muscular dystrophy. Now, fans are encouraged to donate by texting CURE, C-U-R-E, to 90999. That's CURE to 90999, or visit coachtocuremd.org. And the partnership between the AFCA and Parent Project MD has raised more than $1.2 million for Duchenne muscular dystrophy research. And a young man that we've gotten to know, a couple of them, in fact, over the last several years, big Rutgers fan, Danny Garofalo, who is a fixture at our shows and games. It's great to see him, and Danny's going to be one of our honorary captains this week. Fired up for that, along with Matty DeRiggi and Trent Powers. And we're excited to have you back, Danny, for it this year. And, you know, I say excited to have you back. You've been there all training camp and all season long checking out practice. Good to see you, bud. We'll see you this week. And, Coach, I know how important it is for you to have your players really be a part of the community, and not only that, but your staff as well, to try to do a lot, as much as you can, to help out different causes in our community.
Yeah, that's all part of our program. We ask a lot from people around the state and our community, and the least that we could do is give back to a lot of people that help us out. And to be a part of our program, that's a requirement, and our players embrace that and really have done an off-the-charts job of doing that in the last 8 months.
And a lot of people don't get to see that, Coach, the stuff that's behind the scenes, getting to go out to different charities and events. Coach, how much do you get to enjoy that also?
Oh, I like to do it. I've been asked to do a lot of them, and I've met a tremendous amount of great people at all the events that I've attended, whether I was speaking at some event or just attending an event for somebody, but it's helped me really connect the people here in the state.
Mm-hmm. Once again, you can text 90999, text CURE to 90999 to make a donation, or visit coachtocuremd.org. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the Iowa Hawkeyes this week. They come in at 2-1. They had a tough loss this past week to North Dakota State, 23-21. It was a field goal at the end of regulation, or at the end of the game, I should say, as time expired, 37 yards to win it. And, you know, folks say, well, it's an FCS team. Well, it's an FCS team that has won 5 straight national championships. This is not your normal FCS team, and at the same time, an exceptionally well-coached football team, very good one at that. So Kirk Ferentz and company are coming off that loss. First of all, you and Coach Ferentz have had a long relationship, I know, and your respect for him is incredible.
Yeah, I've known Coach Ferentz for a long time, since he really took over Iowa. I was actually at Iowa State at that time, and would run into him at a lot of events and clinics and things like that. I have a relationship with a lot of guys on that staff, and they do a great job. They've done a tremendous job for a number of years, and they're as well coached, well prepared football team, and they get the most, as much out of their players as anybody in the country, year in and year out.
And can you talk about so far some of the players that stood out on film to you from the Iowa side?
Well, there's a lot. You know, the quarterback, C.J. Beathard's a great player. They got the running backs. LaShawn Daniels is a guy that I've known about from my time at Ohio State. He's from Northeast Ohio. He's a really good running back. His brother James Daniels is a starting offensive lineman also that I had recruited a little bit there at Ohio State. They got Jaleel Johnson, a defensive lineman, Desmond King, a corner, who's a great player, punt returner, kick returner, an All-American that's all over the field. So they've got several players on both sides of the ball that you got to account for.
One of which is their leading tackler on defense, the outside linebacker Ben Neiman. And if the name sounds familiar, it is the son of Rutgers defensive coordinator Jay Neiman. His two sons attend and play for Iowa. So we've heard him talk earlier this week about what this is going to be like, but it is a little bit bizarre to be having your offensive staff game planning to go up against that defense and your defensive coordinator's son.
Yeah, it is a unique situation. Can't say that I haven't been a part of it before. Sure. I don't know that many people have. But Jay's been very professional about it. He's probably got a house divided, this week with his wife. But Ben's a great player, does a great job for him. He's been very productive this year. He's tough, he's hard-nosed, plays the game the way you want players to play it, and wouldn't expect anything less from knowing Jay and playing for Jay, and his sons play that way. And it's going to be a lot of fun. It's probably not going to be telling our players to go out and hurt him, though.
When you have a situation like that, Jay's such an experienced coach and a guy that was your position coach, and you see him go through this. Have you noticed anything different at all with him this week getting ready for this game?
No, it's business as usual. We're focused on our job. His sons are focused on their job. I doubt they talk this week, but they'll talk when the game is over. We've got to go out and play great defense, and Jay knows that, and that's the way we're preparing, and there really hasn't been any discussions in our office about it.
And, Coach, we mentioned before the show, you was talking to me, this is big-time football now. What's it like now, going to your first Big Ten game as a head coach, getting ready for this Big Ten schedule coming up? What's it like for you and getting motivated for that?
It's a great experience. I mean, I love this league. I've been in this league now 3 different places. And it's one of the best leagues in the country, and to be a head coach and be a part of this elite group is really a special feeling. It's an honor and it's a privilege, and I go to work every day to try to go out and make Rutgers the best it can be so we can go out and win games in this league and become one of the better teams.
We'll take our final questions for Coach when we come back. One more time out as Rutgers prepares for Iowa this coming Saturday, 12 noon kick at High Point Solution Stadium. Game will be broadcast on ESPN2. So make sure, if you're not in attendance, that you are watching or listening, of course, on the Rutgers IMG Sports Network, WOR 710 in New York, WCTC 1450, WENJ 97.3, and also 920 AM. Also, this week's game is on Sirius XM Satellite Radio, Sirius 135, XM 195. One more time out, more questions for the coach next. This is the Chris Ash Show.
Need a place to watch all the pro games? Look no further than Quaker Steak and Lube, Best Wings USA on Route 1 in Edison. 50 TVs, great game day specials starting at just $2, and the best wings in the USA with over 25 different wing sauces. Enjoy our outdoor patio and bar that's open all year round, even in the winter. Give us a call, 732-777-WING. We cater events of any size, dining in or to go. Quaker Steak and Lube, 561 Route 1 in Edison, 732-777-WING.
When you're looking for tickets to that sold-out event, there's only one place to go, TickCity.com, the official secondary ticket partner of Rutgers Athletics. Scarlet Knight fans can save 10% on all orders when you use the discount code Rutgers at checkout. From sporting events to the hottest concerts, Broadway and family shows across the country, all your ticket needs are covered at your fan-friendly ticket source, TickCity.com. That's TickCity.com.
The Chris Ash Show returns after this local timeout. This is the Rutgers IMG Sports Network.
Train smart, play hard. The Scarlet Knights know what it takes to win on the field and off, so they work harder with the help of the high-quality protein of Dual Fuel. Developed in partnership with Rutgers strength and conditioning coaches, Dual Fuel performance bars and shakes provide elite athletes with the fuel they need to power through the toughest workouts. Give your body what it needs to take on the competition with Dual Fuel. Dual Fuel bars and shakes, an official nutrition partner of Rutgers Athletics. Available at campus retailers or at rutgers.dualfuelnutrition.com.
Let's say you're a person.
I'm a person.
A person who switched to AT&T and got up to $650 in credits when you traded in your current smartphone and bought a new one on AT&T Next.
I sure did.
And use it to stream competitive eating videos.
Oh, that's him.
Sorry, can't talk. I'm training. Get up to $650 in credits per line when you switch to AT&T. Trade in your current phone and buy a new one on AT&T Next. AT&T, mobilizing your world.
Switch offer limited time. Each line requires eligible port-in, trade-in, purchase, and service. Get minimum of $10 trading credit plus prepaid card and amount of device balance or early termination fee less trade-in.
Final opportunity for you to get your questions in for Rutgers head football coach Chris Ash. 877-384-1869, our Nissan call-in number, 877-384-1869. Or you can tweet your questions at Rutgers Radio. That's at Rutgers Radio. So, as you prepare for the Big Ten opener, one thing I've been meaning to ask you about is the shift this year to 9 conference games and just 3 out-of-conference games. As a first-time head coach, I don't know how that would affect you either way, but is it something that you're in favor of? Do you like having 9 conference games, or would you prefer to have one more non-conference game on your schedule?
No, I'm perfectly fine with the 9 conference games. Honestly, I don't spend a lot of time thinking about it. It's the direction that the conference wanted to go, and I agree with it. Play more teams in your league. Makes it more exciting for the fans. And non-conference games in this day and age are hard to come by. And right now, you've seen the price tag for some of those games as a player in conference teams.
Coach, as a coach, do you like playing the non-conference games right away, get them over with, and then get right into the schedule? Or do you like mixing them up a little bit, playing later in the year, or the beginning of the year, end of the year? Or does it really not matter?
I like getting him over early in the season and getting into your conference play. I know the SEC mixes non-conference games throughout the season, and we did that when I was at Arkansas. I didn't really understand the reason behind it, other than that sometimes teams thought they could schedule an easier team to get a little break from the schedule. But I like the way we do it here in the Big Ten with the non-conference games at the beginning. I know that might not be the case in the future, though, with future scheduling, but I like the way it is right now.
We're talking to AJ earlier, him having played for Coach Ferentz at Iowa. You grew up in Ottumwa. Did you grow up an Iowa fan?
I actually did.
Yep.
When you say that word, nobody on this radio show knows where that's at. So
Ottumwa, Iowa?
Yeah. But I did grow up an Iowa fan. I was actually telling someone this the other day. One of my fondest Christmas gifts I got one year was an autographed Chuck Long of football when he was a quarterback at Iowa. Heisman Trophy guy, a candidate that Iowa was, I think, #1 in the country at the time, and he was the quarterback. I actually went on to work for Chuck Long at San Diego State also, so that was kind of a unique deal.
What's it like? Can you give us a little bit? What is it like in Iowa? Someone like me who has never been to Iowa. What's the lifestyle like out there?
Well, it's not all horse and buggy and corn and candles and things like that a lot of people think. I mean, they drive cars, they live in homes, they go shop and stuff like that. So it's a great. I love it. My family's there. I love the state. Love the people there. But it's not obviously a place that people from New Jersey are going to go visit. But I love it when I go back, and it's tremendous people.
I have been there several times. I have a brother who lives there, and I have never seen a bigger sky than you see in Iowa. It is remarkable, horizon to horizon. But, the whole experience of going from that and being a Midwest guy to being here, I understand that 98% of your time, if not 99%, is spent in the building at Rutgers and doing everything that a head coach has to deal with. But the experience for your family to kind of move here from being folks from the Midwest.
We've lived all over,
so
it's nothing new. I told people this several times. A lot of people don't know this. I used to live in New Jersey back in 1997, so
right.
I've recruited here a lot, but lived the East Coast, West Coast, down South, Midwest, so it's nothing new.
Well, Coach, I hope I can take a trip to your hometown one day, get that whole Iowa experience.
I'd love to take you there, man. It'd be a big hit. It'd be a lot of fun.
I tell you what, I guarantee you will eat well. I'm on board with that.
You like corn on the cob, Eric?
Yeah, I'd rather try one of those bison burgers or something.
I've never had a bison burger. I mean, what is that?
What?
No.
Never had a Coach, man.
I've had a hamburger.
Hey, Coach, we gotta hang out, man. I gotta teach you some things about some good food.
Well, Coach, listen, good luck this week. Big Ten opener, your first as a head coach, and I know we'll all see you there on Saturday, 12 noon at High Point Solution Stadium.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate the hospitality tonight.
Good luck, Coach.
Rutgers head football coach Chris Ash. It's been another edition of the Chris Ash Show here at Quaker Steak and Lube. We're here every Wednesday night from 7:30 to 8:30. We encourage you to come on down. Once again, the game this week, 12 noon this Saturday, High Point Solution Stadium, Rutgers and Iowa. Have a good week, everybody.
You've been listening to The Chris Ash Show on the Rutgers IMG Sports Network. The Chris Ash Show has been brought to you by Join us throughout the season from Quaker Steak and Lube on US 1 in Edison to hear from the head football coach of the Scarlet Knights. The Chris Ash Show is an exclusive presentation of IMG, America's home for college sports.